It was the night of June 29, 1941 in the foothills of Murmansk, Soviet Union. Commander Oberleutnant Rode ordered some officer candidates, Group Osterman, to climb Ridge Musta to a height of 122 meters and scout the situation and then report back to him and his company back down below. Right after they disappeared past the crest of some cliffs, Rode and his men heard grenade explosions and heavy small arms fire, then all went quiet. On June 30, 5 a.m. the next morning, Rode ordered more Jaeger troops up the mountain under cover of the morning fog, who encountered Russian soldiers in a close combat gunfight. They were Russians of the 136th Infantry Regiment, 14th Infantry Division of the Red Army. Some had pretended to be dead, and shot some Germans while they approached. Nonetheless, the fight was over after 6 hours, which led to 2 Russian troops being captured. Group Osterman's status had been officially unknown until a wounded scout had jumped from the cliff into the lake below. He relayed info to Rode and the Gebirgstruppe, telling how the Russians killed the entire group, taking no prisoners. By now, the 2 captured Russians' fates were sealed. The account from the German side, fierce hand-to-hand combat began with an enemy that defended from behind boulders and well-disguised positions. Several Russians pretended to be dead, in order to resume firing in our backs. For our own safety, it was not possible to take prisoners, and battle could only be ended by complete annihilation of the enemy. At 6:15, the height was in the hands of the 2nd Company. Soldiers from Osterman's group were all found brutally killed. The only survivor, a wounded man who saved himself by jumping into a small lake, described how the Russians ruthlessly executed men from the scout group that remained after battle. All of our men were repulsed by this cruel method of fighting. 2 captured Russians that were taken in the battle were executed after a short trial. It was unanimously decided to shoot the 2 Russian prisoners, and Oberleutnant Rode gave the order to carry out the sentences. The pictures show the 2 Russians standing bravely, knowing what is to come next. Barely a week into the war, and these men's lives were ended. They would lay there for 70 years until a group of Murmansk searchers found the place of execution and the remains of the dead in 2013. One of the Russian soldiers was identified as Private Sergei Korolkov, born 1912, the birthplace Kiev region, Velikoloksky area, Saryzinsky farmland, village, Hamelishchi. He entered service in the Soviet Army on June 22, 1941, a week earlier. The other soldier is still unknown. There is an assumption that he is the Soviet junior officer. In this short fight in the first week of war in Russia, 16 soldiers were killed, 11 wounded.